What's good, YouTube? It's Chiefs Priority here. I'm currently waiting for a new mic because my mic has just broke. But we're going to be getting into Frank Clark. So there's no secret that Frank Clark comes up big in the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs. But it may be time to let him go. So the Chiefs signed Frank Clark to a deal in 2018 for 5 years worth up to $104 million with $63.5 million guaranteed. And this is honestly the contract that the Seattle Seahawks didn't want to give him. But when we signed him, I got to give V some slack because he was coming off a 13-sack season. So it was a good pickup. And then the next season, he came to Kansas City, and then he had put up a solid 8 sacks. But with that contract that the Chiefs gave Frank Clark, everyone expected another double-digit season. But after that, man, things went even more downhill. So he had 6 sacks, then 4.5 the next season. And this season, he had 5 sacks, but he did miss a few games. Now, one thing about Frank Clark, though, is his leadership and his ability to uplift his teammates. And he's also a very lovable guy. But in the playoffs, man, Frank Clark is different. In the playoffs, Frank Clark is a very good player. He's third all time in playoff sacks. I don't know. I don't get it. I honestly don't know what makes him so good in the playoffs, but he definitely flips a switch. And that's honestly huge. Like, knowing that you're going to have someone that's going to always come up big for you in the playoffs every year. And I know that's making y'all wonder, like, okay, Chiefs priority. Why do you want the Chiefs to get rid of Frank Clark? Well, here's my reasoning. First off, Frank Clark is not getting any younger, and his contract was absolutely crazy. So if he's not willing to take a pay cut to re-sign, then we definitely shouldn't bring him back. And that pay cut has to be very low, because I'm pretty sure there's other teams that's going to overpay for him because of his career, such as the Bears and the other teams like the Texans. But we honestly just went defense heavy in the draft. We literally selected 2 edge rushers, and we still have George Karlaftis, and we signed Charles Omeni on free agency. So why would we bring Frank Clark back? Like, if Veach is really trying to do this younger team thing, then he would have been there to bring Frank Clark back. And if you want to bring a veteran, there's other veterans out there that we're going to talk about later that's better than Frank Clark. So it just wouldn't make sense because his production could be easily replaced. And I understand he comes up big in the playoffs, but our defense should be so good to this year to the point where we don't have to worry because we're going to hold our own in the playoffs regardless. So I'm honestly concerned on his future here with Kansas City. And after everything I said, I just can't see us bringing him back. But, I mean, you never know because Chris Jones he does want him back badly. So that's really something to look out for. But Chiefs fans, let me know, do you agree or do you disagree with what I'm saying? And let me know if you think we should bring back Frank Clark. Because if 5 sacks is what he's giving you in a season, let's be real, bro. That could easily be replaced. I mean, Charles Omeni or Felix Anudike-Uzomah is literally going to give you that. Or they both probably would give you that or even more in 1 year. But there's still some good available veteran edge rushers out there that could be cheap and would give you better production than Clark. Like, you got Justin Houston, who's a former Chief. He's coming off a pretty good season with 9.5 sacks. So we would definitely want him back here. I also like Yannick Ngakoue. I'm not saying his name, but he's 28 years old. He's a solid edge rusher, but he can't really stop the run. But he had 9.5 sacks and then 10 sacks the year before that. So this dude's a good sack artist. And then you got Leonard Floyd, who's basically like Justin Houston. So basically what I'm trying to say is that there's way better veteran options out there than Frank Clark. So that's what I'm saying. Frank Clark has a major problem. And I really don't think he's going to be re-signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. But, I mean, you never know. Because, like I said, Chris Jones does want him to come back. But my opinion, it's just no reason for him to re-sign with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's time to move on for him. He could go to a team like the Bears, a team that's ready to overpay, get his bag. But I just don't. I like him as a leader, but honestly, when it comes to on the field production, he just doesn't show up in the season. Like, it's okay to show up in the postseason, but you're paying you money to show up in the season and the postseason. That's what a lot of Chiefs fans don't understand. Y'all love Frank Clark because he shows up in the postseason, but in the NFL, you're supposed to show up in both. It's not about showing up in the postseason. You're supposed to show up in the postseason and the offseason, the regular season. You're supposed to just show up and do what you're getting paid for. So that's my problem with Frank Clark. So yeah, man, honestly, I really can't see why Chiefs fans want Frank Clark so bad or want him back. I feel like it's more of like he's just a team, like a player for the team stuff. So y'all don't want to let him go. Just like how y'all don't want to let go of Kareem Hunt, but these players, we just gotta let go of them, man. And then as the team gets, as years pass, it's gonna have to be players we're just gonna have to let go of. Even though we love them a lot, we love them as players, we love what they bring to the table, we love their game, we love their skill. A lot of these players just gotta go, man. And Frank Clark is honestly one of them players. I just don't see his value here anymore in Kansas City. Like, if you want me here for motivation, you better go become a coach, bro. But we need some production. That's what we looking for. We need some production. So I'm not saying Frank Clark is like the worst player in the world or nothing like that, because he's not like that bad. But basically, what I'm saying is it's time to let go of him. Like, I don't understand why would we bring him back. We got, like I said, there's so much veterans out there. If we want to get a veteran that could be better than Frank Clark, we got for leagues Anudaku Sama. We literally just got B.J. Thompson as well. We have George Karlaftis. We have Charles Amini, who I don't understand why we bring back Frank Clark. Like, what is it for? Chiefs fans, a lot of people was requesting this video too in the comments. They were saying do a video on why we shouldn't bring back Frank Clark. So I was like, of course I'm gonna do a video for my boys. For me, if they want me to do a video on this, I'm gonna do a video on this. And I just had to come in here and give y'all the truth. Like, bro, why do y'all want Frank Clark back? What is wrong with Chiefs fans? Why do y'all want him back so bad? Like, bro, we're good without Frank Clark. He's not one of the best players on our team, bro. I understand in the playoffs, he turns up, he does his thing, but if you can't do that in the regular season, what are you getting paid for? You're not getting paid to be good for 3 to 4 games. You're getting paid to be good all year and in the playoffs. That's what NFL players get paid for. So all that playoff performance stuff, I don't want to hear that, brother. I honestly don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, bro. Honestly. I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, a very good player. I don't know what happens. I don't know how he becomes so good, but he is a very great player in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't understand the point of just going through all this with like trying to re-sign him and then having to give him the money he wants. Like, just let him walk. Let him go to a team like the Chicago Bears, where he can just have his final years and get his bag. Let him go to a team like the Houston Texans, or like one of them teams. Like, I guess they think they could bring him back to his Seahawks form, or he just go back to the Seahawks, like stuff like that, bro. Because at this point, we don't need him. I think FAU is good enough to replace Frank Clark. Charles Amini, who could definitely replace Frank Clark. B.J. Thompson with 1 year of a book up, and that's Frank Clark. Like, that's really all it is, bro. I just don't understand. We didn't draft all these edge rushers if we was going to keep Frank Clark. And yeah, so Chiefs fans, I'm sorry. I didn't want to have to make this video to hurt your feelings, but Frank Clark, you got to go. Frank Clark has to go. And now if we do re-sign him, I'm not going to be mad. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be mad. I'm just going to be like, what in the hell? Like, what's the purpose, bro? We don't need Frank Clark anymore. Like, we really don't. We don't need him at all anymore. We're going to go to the Super Bowl regardless, but I don't know, man. Tell me what y'all think. It's been my boy, Chiefs Priority, and I'm out. Peace.